What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Marvel in the Madness. We've got Dominic Tor in the building, and as always, we've got me, Stephen Matembu. How you doing, my guy?
I am doing all right, my friend. Thank you. And you?
Yeah, really good. Can't complain.
Sweltering.
There you go, complaining again. Oh my gosh. Buy thingamajiggy, uh, air conditioning unit.
I've got
For
one.
your,
It's fine.
use it. Stop moaning. Such a first world problem. Oh my god, I'm so hot, man. Grow up.
Oh, I'm good. I sleep fine.
Grow the hell up. Oh my gosh. Ah, yeah. So now I got that out of the way. Stop complaining.
Oh, dude.
Or I'm just attacking you. I'll just go with that one. I'm not afraid. I'll say exactly how it
Classic.
is.
Let's go for it.
Oh
What
gosh.
was
So
our
we're
first
going to
story?
go on our first story. Nice and simple, because obviously it's catching the attention of the internet. And I just think if it was to happen, it would be the most hilarious thing, but also the most entertaining thing. So without further ado, I'll introduce the topic. So there's been a bit of a back and forth between the two tech giants, obviously one being Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook, and the other being Elon Musk from Twitter. Obviously, he does other things, but that's the way they're making it go. Like, oh, it's this social media against that social media. So that's the way they're sort of rolling with the story. Uh, I want to see. I really hope it happens because I think that'll be the most entertaining fight ever. It might be like actually like horrible to watch as like a casual standby, but just to say like two of the most richest people who have apparently nothing better to do go at it. I think that'll be really entertaining.
Then have a UFC fight with each other.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's kind of. I was just reading that article you sent me, and it sounds like they've both contacted the head of UFC, so it's looking like it might actually happen. Which
Which will be pretty good.
Yeah, kind of the only thing with it, and it'll be, I suppose, entertaining probably, but like the only thing that you think is, well, there's these people who have worked really hard at that sport, and it's quite a brutal sport if we're honest. But there's people like work really hard and never get like a moment to on TV, and these two guys because they're billionaires, they're gonna just get a like primetime TV slot fighting on in front of everybody, and everyone's gonna watch it, which is kind of sad in its own way, but also it would be quite entertaining.
But what you could do is like obviously you have an undercard, so obviously that would be your main event, and then you get these. Well, you can call them no-name fighters because the event's not really happened yet. So you can get like these no-name guys, and they can come on the like. I think that would be the best way to like expose. Like again, get some really good fighters on the undercard as well, just so it's actually a really entertaining thing. But then you can have maybe like an hour of like people we've never heard of. Let them have the spotlight, actually good fights. So I think there's like a bit of a win for everybody
Yeah,
in that
absolutely.
regard.
I think Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk should have to fight in like outfits of some sort.
I mean, I don't know about that. I think they're just watching them fight. We've got into it. Although apparently Mark Zuckerberg's been training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and has
Yeah,
actually won a tournament.
yeah. So
So
when you're rich and you ain't got much to do, like he probably just sits there and just runs Facebook from his home, so he don't have to do a lot now. He probably just.
I mean, does he actually have to do much anymore? I know he was trying to do like the whole virtual thing, but that's not doing too well at the moment. So
He probably just comes up with ideas.
might as well just give that a rest for a little bit, do something else for a little bit, give your brain a chance, even though you're getting bopped in the head, so maybe it's not the best thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, leave that alone for a little while and then come back to it in a little bit.
Should we be encouraging fighting between the people? I don't know. It
I
seems to be
think
all right.
because at one side you want to lean more to like Zuckerberg's side because he actually has done a little bit of training. It might be not the best because I saw some of the videos, and again, I'm a super casual, so take what I say with the mightiest pinch of salt. But he's actually done a little bit, won a tournament, whereas Elon Musk has been reported, he says he he doesn't really like exercise a lot. But on the flip side, we also know he's like, if he really wanted to do something, he has like the mental capacity to like just focus on one thing. Like if he hired obviously the best trainers in the world, all the chefs and all that stuff, and be like, all right, for the next, I don't know, 6 months, this is all I'm gonna do. I reckon that would be like quite entertaining.
Be careful, he'll probably end up moving into the training gym like he did at Twitter. He'd just buy it, and then he'll move in.
He did that at Tesla as well. I think they were having some issues with their production, and he was like, "Okay, we need to speed things up." So he literally just like had a sofa and then like just stayed in there. And I'm like, the guy is dedicated. So like, if there was anything, he's crazy enough to do it. Like if he really put his mind and soul to it.
Nah, I'm all right. But yeah, it could be interesting. It could be amusing to watch, as long as neither
I'll
of them
pay
gets
for it.
hurt, really.
I'll pay for it. I'll happily pay for it. If that was like 50 quid for like a pay-per-view, I'm like, yeah, why not? It'll be entertaining. Make a whole day out of it.
I ain't paying for it. I'm not
So
watching
you can
that.
come watch with me. You can come watch with me. We'll both know. We'll make could you do like a live stream if it ever happens and you got a
So,
few more followers that day? You can do like a live stream of the event.
sweet. Probably like
Yeah.
3 o'clock in the morning, so it'll be in America, but yeah.
Yeah, semantics. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Right. So I feel like I've just blasted you for like the last probably 5 minutes with
Nice.
stuff that might not possibly happen, but would be really cool. Whereas you can more or less tell us what's happening in the real world,
In the
you
real
know,
world.
the
Yeah.
real world.
Well, it is the real world that you're talking about. Just
Uh,
I know they don't really live in the real world probably because they're so wealthy. It kind of it's a different world when you're that wealthy, isn't it? But,
yeah, that's what I say, like quote unquote, the real world. Something like
yes, back in the real world,
that.
there are interesting situation happening in Russia. There are no, that made no sense. There is an interesting development happening in Russia with all of the mutiny that nearly happened yesterday morning, with the head of Wagner deciding to do a march on Moscow, and then some bizarre reason, by the end of the day, he was heading to Belarus, having stepped aside and not decided to carry on his march. They did blow up a few. They took over a city in Russia, by the way, and then were like halfway towards Moscow. Well, I think they took over 2 cities, and then 25,000 troops were halfway to Moscow. Blew up a few military helicopters, and then somehow negotiations with the Belarusian leader, they decided, no, we're not going to do that. And now the head of Wagner has gone off to, they think, Belarus, and Wagner's been incorporated into the army. So what was nearly a civil war has become a bit of nothing. So all in 24 hours, it's gone a bit bizarre. So yeah, they're saying it's really going to hurt Putin and he might fall, but it's just a very strange situation, really. Very strange.
It's surprising it's still going on, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, it's shocking, really. Like you kind of think, wow, like there was almost civil war in Russia while they're fighting Ukraine, and then like a kind of grab for power, but then people didn't rise up with him, so they kind of back down before they go and end up in a civil war. Which I'm glad for the sake of the civilian population that like, a civil war didn't break out. Obviously, it's not. In some ways, it'd have helped Ukraine if it did, which is would obviously we don't want Ukraine to suffer needlessly. So it's a very hard situation. Like I wasn't rooting for anyone in that situation, but I'm just glad that sort of the civilians didn't get caught in the crossfire.
Yeah, because I feel like at this point you just need like a sort of ceasefire because like nothing's really happening, is it?
It is slowly.
As far as I know, I don't know. I don't really watch it that much anymore.
Yeah, well, Ukraine have started a kind of counteroffensive, which is gaining some momentum slowly. If you read some papers, but yeah, it's hard going. But then, if you were Ukraine and you've had loads of your land taken off you for no good reason, then you're going to want to keep taking it back, aren't you? So it's a horrible situation, and you can. But yeah, it was just very strange yesterday. So there was nearly a full blown mutiny. That kind of pitted out throughout the course of 24 hours. So very strange, but yeah, the world's mad sometimes. The world is mad. That's all you can say. That's all you can say. So yeah, I think we'll leave it there. But strange.
Fair enough.
Good.
Fair enough.
So you have another fantastic, really serious, in the real world news story that you got for us.
Serious. I don't know about serious. I would call it more slightly daft than serious. But basically, within the next year, Apple will be releasing another product, which basically just looks, I gotta stop saying basically so much. Anyway, it just looks like a ski mask with just loads of tech inside of it.
Nice.
Long story short, that's the best way to explain it. And obviously, as Apple do over the years, it'll get better. So then maybe in future we'll look at it again and be like, it's not the worst thing in the world, but right now the way like it's selling it, it's just that you're wearing this massive ski thing on your face. It looks ridiculous. And then like I think the real issue is that obviously people are really like not interacting with the world because we pretty much have our phone in our hand or in our pocket pretty much for most of the day. So now having something literally mounted to your face isn't probably not going to help the situation, is it? You're fighting for people's attention, and then they're just going to be living inside goggles all day.
You're gonna you're gonna have like a house party and people come around for a dinner party, and then everyone's just gonna be sat there with their goggles on their face. So you'll be at a dinner party at someone's house, but you'll be eating real food, but you'll be in a virtual reality dinner party. So you'll be somewhere else probably.
It is kind of weird because like the way they were showing it like through the goggles as well is that like you can obscure so much of your vision. So you can have like a few things on like in front of you, but then you can still have like peripheral vision. So you're still within the world, but then not really, if you know what I mean. So I'm like, it might as well actually be all in, all out. There's no sort of half and half, which is what they're trying to create, which I think is kind of ridiculous because it's going to lead to people like trying to see if they can like drive with these things on or I just don't think it's good for our overall brain as well. Just got to think like the amount of dopamine that will give you throughout or however long you use it. And then the moment you take it off, like the depression that you'll get because you're not going to get the same sort of dopamine highs from the normal everyday world things, which I think is seriously dangerous.
Super sad. The thing, like, everyone's going to be walking around like a crab now, aren't they? Because if you've got your peripheral vision is like visible where everyone else isn't, you're going to be like sidestepping everywhere because that's the only way you can see.
Weird. But like the only reason I'm mocking it now is because it looks so ridiculous. But like I say, give it maybe I don't know 10 years, and it'll probably look like your glasses. Then it'll probably become more acceptable. Like you wouldn't even think twice about it. I would still be iffy about it because I feel like that's too much dopamine for the brain to take in. Like we're not meant to have all this technology on all the time.
I want to look at less screens, not more. That's where I'm
at. Yeah.
But yeah, you do wonder, don't you? I think Google have got a version, haven't they? Theirs is just like glasses, I think.
Yeah, well, they also look kind of weird, to be honest. That's why they're not really taking off just yet, because they still look horrible. Because you got to think about it, like when they start looking like, what's that? No Way Home. You watch that Spider-Man film.
Oh yeah.
No Way Home. Either way, it's the one where like Tony dies and he gives them those glasses. You know the Edith ones.
I think so.
I can't remember. Basically, anyway, that's the thing they're gonna like long term gonna go for. Like until they look like that, I feel like, yeah, I'll probably go nowhere near it. But it is a little bit worrying because you got to think of like so many other things, that could be a potentially dangerous. Just like in the general world where you're just walking around and like you're gonna be a danger to everyone. But I suppose a lot of people will be in the same position. But everyone will be a danger to everybody because you'll be probably driving. You got 1,000 notifications. People trying to call you, and then it's all on your face. So you can't just like. Well, obviously you can take them off, but we know what people like once they have like an addiction to things, and it makes it a lot more simple than if you use the hands or whatever. It becomes integrated. Like you become more of a cyborg. It's like so many generations away before we probably have like an implant, which obviously Elon Musk is looking to do at some point, isn't he? With the what's it called? Just gonna break my brain.
Neuralink.
Neuralink. That's it.
In like 60 years, you and me will just be sat here with just our heads and completely robotic bodies.
Yeah, but I think at that point I won't care. Like my brain's already like frizzled and fried anyway. So if anything, I'll be a good, I might call and be like, I'll be a good test dummy because at that point my brain's not that much use.
Don't you mean Terminator?
Right now, I'm like, I'm not sure having technology on my face all the time is the best thing going forward.
I'm not interested. I'll just give me the simple life. Let me get me outside with my koi and just sit there staring at water. I'll be happy.
I think so. You can do that virtually.
Yeah, just sat inside my house staring at the color. Oh man.
You'll never know the difference.
Yeah. I hope I would.
I hope so too. But it is something to think about. Like AI and everything is getting better each month. And then the technology, like I say, you won't be able to realistically tell the difference after a while. Which is a little bit worrying.
Scary times.
Yeah. So I think we've covered scaring the world today with a little bit of entertainment.
Yeah, it's been a very serious session, hasn't it?
Not really. There's one serious one, and then like one that could have serious connotations. Let's go with that word.
This life-changing podcast. Listen to this, and your life will be changed forever.
Yeah. Although to be fair, before this, I was listening to Elon Musk talk about rockets for an hour. So
nice. You live such a thrilling lifestyle.
I really do. It's while I was cycling on my bike because I'm a fun guy like that.
You're such a fun guy.
But yeah, if we've not got anything to add, I think we'll call it there. I think we're done.
Yeah, nothing really. I've got my the only thing I'll mention is it's sports day coming up at school. So big up all the kid athletes, get there in the potato spoon. Can you remember the potato spoon? Is it the potato spoon or is it egg and spoon race?
Potato spoon.
Potatoes. I feel like there is a potato spoon one as well, but yeah, just potato on a spoon.
No, because it was like a potato sack that you used to wear, so maybe that's what.
Oh yeah, there's probably potato sack jumping in it.
Yeah.
All those things.
All
those things that prepare you for like the Olympics. Potato sacks and big spoons.
I don't know. I don't think it was really a big thing in South Africa, unless I just genuinely can't remember. I don't think it was a massive thing in South Africa.
He probably actually did actual like sports, like 100 sprint. Like, here we go.
I could be
ready for that.
I could be wrong. I might have to ask my parents because I don't really remember that far back, but I don't remember doing it. Or maybe once, and I was like, ugh, this is boring.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that's it.
There you go.
So it's no egg and spoon race.
Nah, didn't need it. Too busy playing rugby and cricket. Real sports.
Real sports for real people. Oh dear. And on that ridiculous note, we should probably call it quits.
Well, dude. Yeah. Thank you everybody for watching. This has been Marveling the Madness with Dominic Tor, and as always, myself, Stephen Matembo. Please like and subscribe.
Have a good week.
Have a great week.